Good afternoon, everyone. So this is Basvaraj. We are going to discuss what is React 16 and which is what they call fiber. So if you have like followed React uh, before React 16, they said ki they had rewritten the React, and there is beautiful blog post which is written by Sophia Alpert. Yeah, she's a Facebooker. So she said ki why did they write the React 16 completely rewritten everything. So like when they started React as their own library inside the Facebook, they had some things in mind and then they did it. But then when they open sourced, many of the pull requests came in with new features that they could not like implement it with the same things. I mean with the existing code base. So that's when they thought of like rewriting the stuff. If you have to like dig deeper into that, I would suggest read this blog post, which is really good. And one more thing that they like, how did they show to the community whether the React 16 is ready or not? They had this is React ready yet or not? Yeah. So this was a snapshot which was taken when I don't know, but then if you see it now, it is completely ready. So these were all the test cases that they had it before. I mean in the React 15. So every day in the Facebook used to be like they come in, they take a test case, they turn the flag on to make the fiber up, and then they used to write the code to fix the test. That's how they rewritten entire React 16 with their architecture. We already discussed why. So the features that they were requested and few were added by themselves was, so first thing was performance, which they have already improved, and they have decreased the size. That we are not going to take part of this thing. So the main thing was you cannot return the multiple DOM nodes from the render things. So that is a problem that every, like if you are like you have a big code base and you have to restructure restructure the code base, what do you call that, refactor the code base, and then you remove the things out, make it into like reusable things, and then you figure out ki array, like we can't take multiple DOM nodes, and then we wrap it with the div. That is how they say. So this was like causing extra nodes in the DOM, and which we don't like. The second thing was error boundaries. In the React 15, if you have like had any error in any of the components, it used to show that error in the console, but then it used to break the UI, and it used to continue the flow. I mean, the user is not, user doesn't know anything that it is broken. So what did they do in the React 16? They thought of like instead of showing the broken UI, let's remove all the elements from the DOM, and then let's give the developer the facility to handle the code base. So this is like a try catch for the components. And portals is an experimental thing, I would say. We'll see that thing when it comes. Yeah, return children DOM. I have a code sandbox. If you are not aware of code sandbox, this is a beautiful project by Ivan Von. I don't know his name, but then some guy. Okay. So if you see the application, so the basic, let me talk about code sandbox. So we know that we do the coding in your local environment, and then there is you must have faced many problems installing the dependencies. The code is working on my machine, but then the new developer joins in, but then that is not working on his machine. So things like that. So this guy had faced problem of like he was an intern. He is an intern. I don't know, like he's working somewhere, but then he was an intern, and then he faced this issue. So he was working for a company, and then he could not kind of communicate well to the fellow developers like what is broken. So then he got an idea of like why not code on the web so that everything is shared, and then they can kind of look into. So that's when this idea was born. That is a different story. If you want to get deeper into that, there is a ZIO conference. If you search for ZIO conf, I don't know. that's there on the YouTube. You should actually watch his talk about the inspiration behind the React code sandbox. That's fine. So let's dig into the code. This is a CRA, Create React App. The Dan Abramo, who is the core developer in the React team, he has actually thought of making it very easy for new developers to dig into. So that is a code sample which comes in when you install any, create a new project with CRA, Create React App. Like most of you know the React. This is a simple code which is actually rendering hello from hello. Let's go to hello. So we are exporting a function which just returns a table and is wrapping a toppers fiber. Let's see. I'm gonna. So this is a table where I'm rendering all the table elements. So when I'm displaying the rendering the toppers element, let's say if I have a requirement where I want to show the toppers on top with some different style, and and then some guy has already created the component and that thing you have to use. So this is how you do it, right? But then if you see for the tr, td, tr, td, and then I have to wrap all the things into div, because if I don't do that, it is going to throw an error. Yeah, tell me if like anything is needed. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna edit it into the code sandbox. Not sure it's working. It's the same code, just editing it. If you just remove this, why is it not breaking? Yeah, this is something else. This should work. I don't know. I mean, we are not using this toppers component, that is fine, but then okay. So it should work. I mean, the thing is, what they say, when you're using fiber, that is where React 16 comes in. If you have to, return multiple DOM nodes, you add it into an array like this. If you, so this is the first element, the first tr, and then the second tr, but just don't forget to add the key attribute to it so that it is, so React doesn't throw any warning to that thing. So that's how it should behave. I can't show you the demo, but then this is working. I don't know. Have I? Okay. So error boundaries, as we already discussed, that is try catch for components. So in React 16, they remove the DOM completely when you don't have, I mean, when something is broken in your render function. you have to take care of your component, and you have to write the functions. I mean, you have to write the component hook. Sorry, they call it lifecycle method, which is component did catch, which will handle the error. Let's see that. It works on that. Not sure. Yeah. So this is the same hello component, but then I am now wrapping it inside error catcher, which is the component. If you see that, so I am writing the hello component and hello error catcher component in the same file. Let's see hello error catcher component. This is just like a regular React component which has its own state, which maintains the has error key. This is the new component did catch hook, the lifecycle hook that I was talking about, which has an error as a parameter. So when anything inside the component which is wrapped inside this component breaks, this can take care of that thing, and doesn't make all the children gone. So if you see the render function, it's nothing new. It just sees if you have error, it just shows something went wrong, and otherwise it will show the children. Children is nothing but the wrapped components. Okay. So if you see the main index.js, hello will be rendered when nothing breaks, but then when something breaks, it should actually render something went wrong. So the code I have written here is to break, so that you can see that thing. If you go and see what is hello expecting, so hello component is actually expect, so it is just rendering hello this dot get name. So get name is actually trying to read first key from the name attribute, which is being passed to this component as props. But then if you see, the name is being passed, but then I have misspelled that thing, right? Let me correct that. It works, but then not completely. If you go and see, I am actually trying to get the first attribute. So the person who has written hello component is actually expecting name to be an object which has the first name and last name as attribute, but then this guy doesn't know to kind of not consider that. Why is this error again coming up? Again the same error coming. I don't know why it is this error, but then you got the thing, right? So if something breaks, I am taking care of it yahan pe, in the this dot state. Anything breaks, component did catch will be automatically called by React, which will set the state to has error true, and then if you have the error, show the something went wrong, otherwise show the component as it is. Why doesn't it got it, right? That's how it is. So there is one more thing that I could not prepare, the portals. Portals are nothing but sub apps inside your apps. You can actually create a React. So if you have worked with React a lot, you must have faced this problem of passing props to very deep level components, and one prop is being passed to first component, second component, then to third, then to fourth, and then to fifth. So what these guys came up with is you can have the reference to a particular node, and then you can actually bootstrap a new React app through portals from that point of time, so that you don't have to pass any props to that deep level nested component. So I couldn't prepare for that, but then you can actually go and see that thing. If you have to actually see the more features of the React, if you know Siddharth Kshetrapal, he's a in the YouTube, if you can search for him, you will find a beautiful talk he has given recently in React Meetup or something like that in the Bangalore. He has actually given a good example of portals where they can use the portal using the cart. So you have a cart, you have a products, and then you have a cart element to show the quantities in the cart. So you have to pass the state from the products container to the cart container. So that can be done using the portals.
Simplest example is models.
Huh?
Simplest example is models. When you want to have like model, you cannot do it in React. It's all different than you want to model.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. This is Basvaraj, UI developer at Agrostar, and I could not leave a slide without some code. That is why I never settled. You should try that React 16. Thanks and outs.
You already upgraded your apps to React 16.
Not really. I mean, so when we started, it was React 15. That was the stable thing. But then now, when I add React 16, as I already told you, that error boundaries make the hell, and they remove all the DOM from that thing. So we just have to handle that thing, and then we can use this thing. I'm so sorry, guys. The code sandbox is not working. I don't know, but then it was working. I prepared all the slides in the morning.